And welcome. Thanks to technical difficulties. We're going to bring you in. About 3 minutes into this game. So, luckily enough, didn't really miss much through those two teams fighting back and forth for midfield possession, which
Yep.
is pretty much how these usually start themselves feeling out. But Iowa Central, at this point, both of these teams playing for a spot in the national title tournament. So, pretty much everything at stake today.
Yeah. This should be a really good one. Tarleton State taking on Iowa Central. Iowa Central comes in off a few-game winning streak. They come in playing really well. They come in on a hot streak, and let's see if they can continue that momentum here today against Tarleton.
Yeah, and they play Tarleton, these are pretty much two teams who no one in the country's really had an answer for.
Yeah.
They're asking questions that, well, pretty much it's been head and shoulders. The four teams that end up making this Final Four are going to be, no matter which combination we put together from, I think there's 16 left,
Yeah.
getting whittled down. There's not a bad team to be found in the group of teams that are still playing for competitive national seeding now. So, at this point, you're just watching the best of the best go against each other.
Absolutely, and that's the most fun part about the postseason, when you watch the best teams play against the other best teams, because then you really figure out who the absolute best team is.
And Iowa Central, pretty much, it's been a 2-year journey. Last year was the first year of the program, which is insane to think that this is where the program is sitting right now. And speaking of almost a breakthrough moment, now he has to keep control of the ball.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, they have simply just been above and beyond what a lot of people expected for a second-year program, already playing extremely well, playing into a national title contender, and that's the way that Coach wanted this team to be.
Absolutely. It was the only way he wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Anything less than a national title for him this year, he said, would be a failure. I don't know if you remember that interview that we had with him.
Yeah, I
that
remember.
was the goal he laid out. And this is just one more step.
Yes, sir.
But it's not going to be an easy step.
Yeah. Well, Matt.
But they're looking to get 3 points closer.
Yeah, it looks like Matt Barker's going to come out here for his first try of the afternoon. Still a beautiful day here at University of Dallas.
And pretty much the entire rugby program at this point, Friends of the Broadcasting program, we've had half of these people on. And Barker, we had him in the studio. Great leg.
That one's up, and
he should
the
have
distance.
more than enough. And he
off the crossbar. That is tough.
Hangs up, but they're gonna push him back into their own area. Now they have to swarm up, keep a wall, and a good pursuit.
Yeah. Triton defense absolutely stifling.
And he almost got enough of that. You see now why Matt Barker was recruited he could have been recruited almost explicitly off of drop kick ability. And now recovered by Iowa Central within distance of the try zone, but the official's going to blow this one dead.
That is a tough first miss for Matt. That was just
it's one he's capable of.
3 steps closer, and he knocks that down with plenty of leg behind it.
And you saw there was no lack of confidence in letting him take it.
Not at all. Coach knows exactly what Matt is capable of. He's seen him in practice, seen him in game.
And now we're going to have a scrum, and this would be big for Iowa Central to win.
Yeah.
But it's going to be Tarleton's throw into the scrum. So Barker hanging out back dangerously, waiting for a potential throw in. But Iowa Central's going to lose possession here. And now for field position. But they've also given space to a back line that has a lot of speed.
Yeah, he's got space.
Through.
He's got a lot of space and speed. He's in there.
And that's the danger.
Yeah. He's got space and speed, and that's an easy Wolf score for the Iowa Central Tritons.
Having Leopold back there.
Oh, big celebration there, and he's a little bit too wild up right there.
Now the question is, are the cards going to stay in pockets? It looks like so to now.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah. Let's hope it stays that way. So that is a great first score for the Tritons.
So now Barker just gets to pick up the tee one more time.
Yeah, see if he can knock this one down from a fairly difficult angle we've seen all day long, especially with the wind picking back up just a bit, coming from our back
It's
shoulders
actually
here.
cutting. It's actually cutting across his nose, going left to right.
Yeah.
And he
Looks
puts
good.
his. Ooh.
Oh, and that one just misses it. Very close, but that's going to be a 5-0 lead for the Tritons.
Yep. And that was. It's strange to say this, but he missed an easier opportunity than that, and I think he hit that ball better than the one he just barely missed.
Yeah, he did. He
That
really
was-
did. He caught all of that one.
Not an easy chance, but he cut it close. Iowa Central up to an early lead. 5-0, which is something they've been in the habit of doing. They do start quick.
Yes, they do, especially with the speed that they have on that
But
back line.
Now to make sure that try doesn't, that missed 2 points doesn't come back to haunt them, that
Yep.
means they have to play defense and try to make sure that they can
Yes, sir.
be the next team to score too.
That'll be huge.
Now, as we mentioned, you mentioned that Nelson expects championship-level competition out of this team. You were on the show for the interview that we had with him this year,
Yes, sir.
where he said that nothing less than a title would make him. His goal was to win a title. Not like anything short of a title he'd chalk down as an
Wouldn't be proud
absolute
of, yeah.
failure. But that's the end goal, and that if they don't get it, there's going to be a bitter taste. This coming off the free kick. But 2 years ago, we brought him in because us having rugby was a new thing, and we were trying to get it started up. And I remember, and it makes me laugh now that we're sitting here, and however today goes, how far they've come in this. I asked, what are your goals for the next 5 years of this program? And he looked at me and smiled and said, I want to win a national title.
Yeah.
And think about someone starting up a program,
Yeah.
year one, saying that that's the 5-year goal.
He's on the brink of it right now. He is pushing to get there. And the Tritons are
Yeah.
full believers of what he has going on.
And this is a team that all the way through, whenever I've watched them, you get a sense, because we watch a lot of teams
Yes.
throughout this, a lot of college teams. You get the sense that, winning a national title at times can be can really kind of be a crapshoot. Things can happen that you don't plan for. There can be injuries. There can be anything. So you can never guarantee a national title.
Yeah.
But Iowa Central has been, rugby has at least this year been a team that every step of the way I've looked at and said they have every tool they need if things fall their way
Yeah.
to win a national title. And obviously, Tarleton has taken its own journey here, and it's earned its way here. And these are two teams that I don't think they're ready to put that dream up on a shelf yet.
No, not yet. Not at all.
And now scratching forward, Iowa Central. Maybe a little bit of room out swinging right if they want to. They have it. Instead, they'll cut up the middle. Leaves it for a teammate. Now swung out, takes one hop, and ricochets out of bounds. Now Iowa Central, you can see they like to get a feel to try all three thirds of the field. They like to try left, right. They do a really good job of mixing it up. But honestly, and not to downplay any kind of technical gifts they have, Iowa Central's number one asset on offense is to see an opening and be there before the defender.
Yep.
To hit it quickly.
Attacking is the most important thing for this Triton offense. And as you can
Oh,
see,
a heavy tackle.
defensively, they're extremely aggressive and strong.
Nathan Heap is, pardon me, that was Zach's shot, but Nathan Heap, they're both about the same size. I could say this about him too. Just absolute physical, blue-collar work ethic type guys. When they tackle you, they're not trying to win that play. They're trying to make sure that every time you come through, they get an extra yard or two because you are shying away.
Yeah. And Tarleton I think Tarleton's up to the challenge so far. They have not shied away from the Tritons.
These are going to be two teams that hit each other in the mouth over and over again before this game's done.
Yeah, we've seen that already to this point. Already a lot of big collisions.
Oh, and here could be a little bit of a break.
We're going to probably expect more collisions of the same.
Now, though, as we said, it is a physical game. You can't get that physical. He was up around the neck,
Yeah.
and that's what this free kick's going to come out of. And it looks like Iowa Central, of course, has options off of this. You can just give it to your best ball carrier and have him juggle it up to himself, which is, honestly, with this much space, maybe a good chance. But also, this is a good way to just win yourself from some field position, especially if you can get it out of bounds on the fly.
That is helpful, and that was beautifully placed.
And, something that I think gets lost, your first few times watching rugby is you don't fully appreciate how important patience is in the game.
Yeah.
Because it's not like football where there's a down where you're designated to punt. You can choose when to play field position.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's valuable.
Like right now, this could be extremely helpful to the Tritons that they played it the way they did.
And now, a little bit of foul play on the throw in, official says. Was winged too far towards one side or the other.
Yeah.
You can get away with a little bit. But now you see closest to us. If Iowa Central wins this, they can, which they won't. But the way that's set up, if that ever happens again, they're just a couple quick passes away from maybe having EA out on the wing with a little bit of room to work. Loose ball. Iowa Central is deep in its opponent's territory. Now would be a good place to have it. Just shot. Pulling people off the pile. Now they're whipping it over. They'll get EA with 1 minute.
Oh, great cut.
Through the vision.
Wow.
And that vision is
What
going to
a
lead straight
cut.
through.
That's how you do it right there.
And that's how
Yeah.
And that's how you get yourself signed to a 4-year university.
Yes, sir. First ever Triton.
On his way to play college rugby at a 4-year university from here.
Yep.
And honestly, you know what? Probably the first of many.
Yeah, big congratulations to him. He's really earned it. He's proved himself, and he's earned his spot. So that's big for him.
And you see, it was a combination of physical talent, honestly, reputation, and vision, because they knew he was the most dangerous guy in the field. So he actually got someone to overcommit by taking one more step than he had to the left. And by the time he outran his shoulder and was across, it was a simple matter of having the athleticism to cut back.
Yep, super easy move. Got him there, smooth as butter, made it look easy. And that's going to be another score. Did they make that?
So we put it up. It's 12-0 Iowa Central. Oh, sorry. Missing the try while we're over. So a rough start.
Yeah.
For the drop kicker, but on a positive note, a pretty positive start for everyone else. So
very positive start for the rest of the squad.
Iowa Central up 10-0, but what you hope then is that the rest of the team can pick that up and that doesn't end up becoming a problem.
Yeah.
That we don't end up making this the type of game where those 4 points could really make a difference.
And let's see if they can continue to do exactly what they've been doing. Good defense, swarming defense, and fast offense. They've shown that recipe so far through the first half. Let's see if they can keep that up.
Because right now, Iowa Central, and I've seen 7 or 8 games that they've played in, tends to just be a bit too much for everybody at this level. They're a team built from the ground up to just be high quality all around. And
yes, sir.
Today, so far, they're stretching their legs and showing it.
Yeah, amazing athletes.
This one goes out of bounds on the fly, and the official marks it very well, I have to say.
Yes, sir.
Like we mentioned in pretty much every broadcast, I think that's one of the toughest calls to make on the pitch.
It really is. Here we go with the throw-in now.
So EA on the try. Avion Acres.
Nicely done.
Now swinging out, and have got it 1-on-1 over, and now it's 2-on-2 on the break. Just a little bit of a bobble. Trying to track it down. Going right through the hands. He had scored once down the left. Akers was looking to try the right side that time. And I don't care who your winger is. I don't know if I like him one-on-one if he would have caught that.
Yeah, he's real fast, real strong. And again, he could do a lot of things other people can't.
It's a special kind of athlete, and it's one of those things where the body type comes together perfectly with the sport, too.
Yeah.
Now this throw in.
Let's see what happens here. The Triton's defense. Oh, someone stuffed up right there. Someone's got to grab it there.
Check.
Now I do have to say, looked like it could have been worse than it actually ended up being. The player saw a dangerous situation and laid off the hit, which is probably better for both, honestly.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Because if you throw yourself head first in a situation like that, not only can it lead to injury, but you're almost guaranteed to see yourself some yellow.
Yeah, and that's not what you want to see ever.
It is a lot rarer, of course. If you're a fan of any other European sport at a professional level where the cards come out, it's much rarer in rugby and soccer at a college level to see the card. It takes more. You have to actually earn your carding for most.
That's very true.
Now the scrum looks like Iowa Central's got the advance here in yellow. Pick it up.
Yep. Looking to make something happen here.
They got numbers. Over to the right, though, it's 2-on-2 and ends up getting wrapped up. But now look at the way they swarm, one side or the other, both offensively and defensively. They're covering each other very well in this chess match.
That's their specialty.
Honestly, both teams answering each other really well right now.
Yeah, Tarleton is definitely not giving up.
Oh,
they
but
have
here,
to find an answer.
One step close to being gone, flips it up to the teammate. Selfish play, but won't really gain them.
Great play on the sideline, on the touchline, nevertheless.
So now they get back.
Absolutely.
Iowa Central does a really good job, and so far, Tarleton has done a good job answering it, which is when they have a few people up, making sure that they gather the ball. They do a really good job of not tipping their hand too early which way the mob behind that line is going to go.
Yeah.
But so far, and now off the penalty, going to have a chance for 3. And he's had a rough start of it. He's 0 for 3 here.
Let's see if he can knock this one down.
But Iowa Central is up 10-0. Now trying to make it a little bit of a more cozy lead. Takes his run up. Drills it. And, well, can't keep a good man down forever.
No, you can't. That's going to make it 13-0 for the Tritons as they extend their lead.
And, eventually, if you keep your mind clear, if you don't let the failures get to you, if you're good, the quality will show through eventually. So that's the beginning of what I hope is a little bit of a run of success in the rest of this game after a slumpy start for Barker.
Yeah. As long as you can get that feeling back, that's all that matters.
And believe me, and you would know too because we both talked to him about this sport, not a kid that lacks in any kind of confidence with himself.
Oh, not at all. Probably one of the most confident people I've ever met, honestly.
Very sure of his abilities. And now, losing the handle on it, but it's picked up. It could get a knock on, yeah. Not going to play any home bias there, probably the right call.
Yeah.
Ball clearly batted forward. So we're about 18 minutes from the conclusion of this game.
On this first half.
Sorry, this first half.
Yeah,
getting way ahead of myself there.
Way ahead of you. Slow down, cowboy.
About 22 minutes in. Here, so about a quarter of this game gone, and honestly been about as competitive as you could expect. Both sides high quality, and now they're going to scramble for a loose ball.
Ooh.
And now instead of going for the ball, a high hit away from the pile.
Yeah.
And, yeah, if there's ever if there's ever a definition of an illegal high hit.
Yep. But as you see, Matt bounces right back up.
And sometimes you just have very little choice but to bounce right back up.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like it's looked at as a sign of toughness. It's almost a reflex.
Yeah. Just get up and act like nothing happened.
Your body is used to standing up.
Yes, that's true.
It kicks it off in the fly.
Nicely done, Matt.
And quite honestly, not because I believe that he deserved him, but this because of the fact that it was so dead center in front of the referee. And the one bounce of the ball taking it further away from the play made it look a little worse. I was honestly expecting a carding off of that hit, but if I'm being 100% honest and not playing devil's advocate or playing Iowa Central announcer, I think it was the right idea to keep the card in the pocket. But here's danger.
He got speed.
That's trouble. Gets caught, dragging himself through. He's got a teammate
trying to get in there
of support. I lost the ball in a sea of legs.
Yeah.
It looks like it ended up getting the whistle blown before anyone could.
Very, very close, though. Once again, great speed on the outside by the Tritons.
Now, and one thing, because we've talked about Akers, we've talked about a lot of players on this, but one thing about Akers that really doesn't strike you until you go back and you watch him play 5 or 6 times is that I'm sure his 40 time when he goes to recruiting is going to be fine, but it's not going to display how good that first 3 or 4 steps is.
Yeah.
That's really where everything is won.
Extremely explosive.
And now Iowa Central pushes it in for the try.
Yep. And that'll be 5 more for the Tritons.
No, pardon me.
Excuse us.
Now there we go.
Now it'll be 5 more for the Tritons.
The whistle was blown, and a couple Tritons even celebrated a little bit prematurely. So I honestly went with the whistle and the boys, but now
that's a 5 for the Tritons. That'll make the lead 18-0 in favor of the Tritons. They are having a fantastic first half.
So now let's see if he can get a couple in a row. Barker's going to have a chance. And interesting the way that he's setting himself up a little bit closer instead of sacrificing the distance to get to the angle.
Yep.
I think it means he fancies himself a little bit more precision.
See if he could sneak this one around the corner. It's got the distance.
And I think he snuck it in. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
There we go.
There's Matt knocking that one down. That's going to make the lead 20-0 in favor of the Tritons. They are pushing out this lead in the first half.
So now you start to understand why we told you at the beginning of the day that he's really, really good at that part of the game.
Yes, he is. He is very, very good.
Few early misfires, but
trying to catch the rhythm. That's all. He was just waiting to catch the rhythm.
And when the offense keeps firing, you get chances.
Yeah, you do.
Now
I
Tarleton,
expect to see more of the same.
Now you have to get at the point. And I'm only saying this because I've watched this team, the team they're playing, play a lot, and I've seen this movie before. This is almost, in my opinion, a do or die round for Tarleton. They need to be the next team to score.
Yeah.
Because if you start letting this scorecard look a little bit ugly, a team with Iowa Central's offensive firepower can bury you quickly.
Yeah, they can keep scoring. And when they score in bunches.
They've pretty much had their way all year.
The Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company is proud to be the top sponsor of Inscrow and enhance the small college rugby experience. Penn Mutual understands that rugby is life. Learn how at pennmutual.com/rugby.
As you mentioned before, Inscrow putting together a heck of an event here with this Cowboy Cup. This is the Challenge Cowboy Cup. Again, can't overstate what's at stake here. As a player is helped off, we'll get a number and probably try to get you an injury status later. But as of right now, is a Tarleton player, so they will have to make a replacement. But yeah, they've put together an absolutely great event here. Uh,
Yes.
they asked us to do all 3 games, and I'm so glad that we said yes because every one of them has been an awful lot of fun. The crowd particularly, the crowd particularly in that second game was insane. The crowd in the second game really into it, and the crowd in the first game was absolutely biting their nails off
Yeah.
because that thing was tight.
That was a good
So
game.
And every time in a cup like this, especially about what we're about to see in the final, one of these teams is on its way to my favorite moment in just about any sport, and there's nothing like the team huddle at the end of a tournament win. There's absolutely nothing like it, and this is the final of a cup. And EA has the corner, makes one cut,
Oh,
and
oh, wow. Oh, my goodness.
he disappeared.
Well, then.
Avion Acres just disappeared.
Ooh.
Um,
He put the moves on somebody.
He just made a man's leg stop working.
Yeah, that's the literal
oh.
definition of putting someone on ice skates.
And it's one of those things where
Yeah.
you almost just see it one on one and you start to cringe before it even happens.
That made my ankles hurt. Ow. Well, that's another score for EA. Does it again. That's his second of the day.
And that was just a different. You're seeing right now that was just a different level of quality.
Yeah, that's
It's
next level.
There are some players you run across that you just say as Barker puts this one through nice and easy.
It's gonna make it 28-0 now for the Tritons.
That you look at and you don't say that kid will play Division I rugby someday. You say he's playing Division I rugby right now.
Yeah.
He's just on a junior college team.
Yeah.
Top of his game right now.
He really is. He really is. He's playing amazing right now. Already 2 scores in the first half. So I can almost guarantee you that there's probably more to come.
Oh, pardon you, 3.
3.
He's at 3.
That's his third. Oh, excuse me. I apologize. Sometimes I'm wrong, Tyson.
No,
Not very often.
You are all good.
He's been going so fast, I can't keep up with him. He keeps scoring.
And that one, there comes a point because you get taught to play within the system, but that was brilliance outside the system. That was an individual move.
Sometimes
left everyone.
When you got the speed, you just got to show it.
Oh, and speaking of speed and power.
Oh my.
Who wants to step in front of that going that fast?
Rolling.
And drug down.
That's a semi-truck. That is a semi-truck just rolling down the highway. You can't stop it. You're not going to stop it.
And that was Godin. And obviously you saw impressive speed for his size. But there's something everyone forgets when we say impressive speed for his size is that, impact is how big you are plus how fast you are going. So once a guy that big starts going that fast, who's going to step in front?
And great play made on the sideline there by a fan.
Yeah, honestly, once a guy that big gets going that fast, I hope I'm catching him from behind.
Yeah, I do too. Without a doubt.
But they do weather that storm and get out of it with no points after that big breakthrough, so able to keep themselves from conceding any further points this half. At least for the time being. "31-minute mark of this first half. Oh, stripped ball. Good defensive play there.
Yeah.
Regain
Had his
possession.
legs wrapped up, stripped the ball right out.
Now let's see if they can get anything going off of it.
They got to get something going soon here before the first half ends. We're approaching the 8-minute mark.
But, isn't it strange how that works? Because if they do, you could almost actually consider a momentum shift even if it doesn't impact the score that much. Because for some reason, when you only dominate 98% of a game and maybe you slip up right before half, that's still the tone that goes into half.
Yeah, that could change everything. It can easily change everything.
And now a heavy bit of contact. Now a little bit of shoving away from it. Official gonna let it play itself out. injured player, now that I see the back, appears to be Devin Russell.
Yep.
Which, certainly the last thing you want to see on a field. Who was he pointing? Incoming back after the injury break. Also assessed during that a yellow card to Barker, who was then pulled. It did appear by the Iowa Central coaching staff, which is purely that's a tactical decision just to make sure that after one rash move to get himself carded, that you don't leave him out there to get himself ejected.
Yeah, it's definitely not what you want, especially with a guy like with the specialty skills like Matt.
And it was a little bit of it was a couple rash decisions by him that led to it. Put a challenge in a really place where it had no business being. Made contact a little high, a little hard. So at the end of it, you really can't complain with the officiating or coaching. They both did their jobs.
Yeah, not at all.
Well, to say though, and this is something that, because I feel like we're really quick to point out when this isn't up to scratch, right? I feel like the officiating today has been phenomenal in all three matches.
We can thank Innsbruck for all of that, because Innsbruck is the home of small college rugby in America.
So now 28-0. This one sent out into the tree line. No business taking any chances. We are 27 minutes into this first half, which because of the injury break and the carding, which took extra time, the official might let this go a couple minutes after.
Yeah, just a bit extra time.
It's not like Major League Soccer where the officials are kept with an actual extra time clock, but the official does keep it in mind.
Yes.
Oh, now scrambling. Beautiful footwork through.
Tarleton's trying to make something happen here. A score here would be huge before the end of the first half.
Especially since the mental mistake in the carding has taken some momentum away that Iowa Central has to earn back now. Now the pitch back.
And that one gets booted away by the Tritons.
Oh, and
A
pardon
lot
me.
of speed running that down.
To make a quick correction, the carding is still official, but Barker was just called over for a quick talk. He was not removed, so he's still on the field right now.
Good.
Which honestly, I don't think in any of the games that I've seen, which I think I've seen about a third of the season at this point, I've seen him get carded before, so I think he can be trusted.
Yeah.
To keep his nose clean.
And talking to wasn't so bad after all. A little bit better than being out of the game overall.
Absolutely. Which also means two things. One, the coach has faith in him not to make a mistake again, and two, the coach is not, oh, this is busted.
He's got space.
Has to cut through. But again, the closing speed of Iowa Central saves 5, and then they're going to get the ball.
Oof. Well, that opportunity vanished in a blink of an eye.
And now down in a lot of pain, an Iowa Central player. Weighing down him from this distance. Hard to see the number on the back, but it does appear to be in a good bit of pain. We'll take a short break. Be back after the injury is cleared up. Now coming quick off the injury timeout, working to the right side, trying to get the touch. Did he control it? If he didn't, his teammate did. See what the official's call is here. Does not appear they're going to give the 5 just yet. They are going to call the foul on Iowa Central. And this is honest. This is a good range to get 3, but they're not in a situation where 3 is what they're looking for. Now driving forward, trying to get something, looking for the try zone, trying to get any sniff of it to break what's been a shutout pitch by Iowa Central's defense. But standing strong at the line.
That's a huge stop for the Tritons defense. Really bonding again there. Not letting anything through.
The situation really dictating there because that free kick was called, I'd say, it couldn't have been more than 30 meters out. Under a normal situation, you'd really be planning to take the 3 there, but this is no time to be settling when you're that close. So,
especially when you're so far down.
So looking to make this game a little bit more interesting before half, as we are sneaking up on it. We've passed the 31-minute mark. Pardon me, the 41-minute mark. Coming in, Iowa Central is able to clear it.
And that one is blasted.
Beautiful defensive play, and it will be the last play we take. No, pardon me. You must be factoring in that extra time because generally past 40 minutes once the thing starts going out. But you do also have to remember we have had 2 injuries, so the official's more liable.
Yeah.
To continue this play going.
Give a little extra time. And that's what we're seeing right now. And Tarleton is going to try to take advantage of that extra time.
Absolutely, with a little bit of a scamper, but a beautiful defensive play. EA being bulldogged down. Good defensive play there. You have to work with what you had a hold of. Now piling back up, looking to play it back to a teammate from the pile, and they have. Charleston looking to win it back. Trouble down the right sideline, but a whistle first.
Yeah.
I think it was a foul away from the ball. Didn't see the hand signal, but the timing of it would have led to a blocking call, more likely than not. So now they have to give their 10 meters, and Iowa Central play the field position. Also, probably at this point, maybe looking for the whistle to get into halftime up 28.
Yeah, it's pretty close, and I would expect it soon to come.
Scrambling for it. Iowa Central maybe start trying to add one more to this lead. Flicks it back. Beautiful passing in between teammates down the side. I think they found the try zone. They did.
Yep, and that's another one for the Tritons right before the end of the half.
Add 5, and it's just rolling.
Yeah, they are really pouring it on now.
33-0, Iowa Central has had a dream of a half.
Yeah.
And they've got themselves
played beyond amazing to this point.
And they've got themselves 40 minutes away.
Yeah.
At this point from taking the next step. But still, nowhere even close to being done playing rugby today, and against
Not
a very
even close. A lot more to go.
And against a very capable opponent. So you have to make sure they're 40 good minutes.
Here comes Matt with another try.
And this one would be a minor miracle.
I think you can pull it off, Tyson.
He's taking it from a sharper angle to just try to cut down on the distance a bit. Taking a few steps back would really test the leg.
This should be a really interesting shot.
We've seen him pull things like it before.
What's up?
He's sent it on its way, but he's going to come up short.
But it's just short. Just short.
I think he put just about all into that.
Yeah. Good ball off the foot. Just didn't have enough.
The contact was square, but at the end of it, it was an awful, awful tough thing to ask.
Yeah. It's always a tough kick whenever Matt comes out there
but
for
still,
some reason.
33-0, Iowa Central. So far rolling in this one. So the drop kick is off, and you have to wonder if this is going to be the last few touches before we roll into half. There's probably been about 5 minutes added, and I think that's about right for how long we had downtime, both teams suffering an injury and a carding.
Mm-hmm.
Now slung out. A on the corner, and he's got a gap. Instead, he'll give it. It's up between.
Got a whistle?
Yep, there's the whistle, and then there's the double whistles to follow it. The line judge and the official have a conversation. The cards do stay in the pocket, which there was a little bit of a scuffle afterwards, but they'll let them separate and go off into halftime. And this is one that I'd predict both teams pretty much realize what they have to do and will get right back at this, because one team you can't really say much because everything's gone right. And the other team, it's not like it's a tactical thing. You just have to go out and do what you do better. Yeah. So We'll be back. Halftime's usually pretty unpredictable in these, but we'll be back when the action starts on the Triton Nation Network.
I'd like you guys to come up a little bit more when on dead balls and meet contact. We're not taking the ball. We're not meeting them with very good contact. But I think we've done a nice job. We'd like to get the ball out to our speed guys and see what they can do a little bit. Have some fun today. So I think we're playing good.
What was the best takeaway from the first half?
I think just the unselfishness right there. It's good to see young men play the game right and play hard. And like I said, I thought we rucked really hard. And in rugby, when you ruck and tackle well, good things will happen. So.
Yeah, you mentioned your speed. You had a couple of times you broke right through and ran all the way in there. So great speed coming back into the second half, and we wish you luck in the second half, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. That was Coach Nelson. And one other thing we want to mention is the crowd that has come down here from Fort Dodge and from the Iowa area. It's crazy how many people from Fort Dodge and from Iowa have come down here, showing the support for the Iowa Central Tritons. Right there, a lot of fans coming down from Fort Dodge and coming down from Iowa, supporting the Tritons, and they're going to help the Tritons again in the second half as they did in the first half. We're going to take another quick break, and we'll be back after a little bit with more rugby action.
And welcome back here to the second half. Just getting this opening kickstart, and we're going to start this 33-30, Iowa Central up. Iowa Central pretty much, you can't really assess that first half without just saying they did pretty much everything they wanted to do.
Yes, they did.
They played their game. There were a couple openings, a couple mistakes, but for the most part, tape to tape, they just handled their business.
Yeah, no pun intended, but they absolutely ran away with that first half.
Yeah.
They really showed that they were dominant throughout the entire first half.
Yeah. Avion Akers, 3 tries. showing just a little bit of what makes him one of the better rugby players in junior college in the country. And I think you can absolutely say that without blushing. He's had a fantastic game.
Yep, that's 3 for him.
Yep.
On the evening. So not sure how many more times we'll see him out here tonight.
Oh, Barker with the fake
Woo!
out. He opens up a
What a
giant
move.
alley for himself.
He's got speed,
That
and he's
was-
in there.
That's the definition of a self-made
Yeah.
man right there.
Yes, sir.
All him.
He's
But-
kicking them. He's running them in. He's doing it all. He's the whole kid and caboodle today.
And that fake opened up a mountain full of space.
Yeah, it did.
Ran through it.
Without a doubt. Yeah, he definitely put the moves on him right there. And now he's gonna go kick his own. He's gonna go kick his own try too. So, I mean, why not?
Absolutely. And I believe we're within the first 3 minutes here.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 minutes in. Iowa Central putting its mark on itself. We're 2 minutes into this second half.
Might as well start it off like that, you know.
And this one, you see, if your teammates have been scoring too far out for you, just set yourself up for them. But this one, that one I think he pushed through, got it, snuck it inside the left upright. It wasn't kind of that inside area where, you know, you get a little bit, once you get more elevation than the post, it really becomes a problem
Yeah.
trying to decide.
It's
either
really
way.
tough on that official, forcing him to make a decision there.
Either way, 40-0, Iowa Central. Now to get the kick back. Oh, a little bit of fumble here, but they will keep possession.
Yep, I was just going to keep that one over there on the far touchline.
And you know that. Oh, and an absolute collision through there. Offensive player got the better piece of it. Now Iowa Central getting behind the ball, shielding off well. And plenty of options. There's a turnover. And now I think we might be bringing it back to the area of the SWAT. They might be calling that a knock-on.
Yeah.
You know, I do always like when the official does allow the play to continue for a few extra seconds just to play the advantage until it's played out.
Mm-hmm. That is pretty important. That is a pretty important thing. A lot of people forget about.
So Iowa Central gets a kick back, now slung out. They've got options to work down that wing.
The ball's out over there.
Hung in the air for a long time. Collision to go get it.
Definitely had some airtime there.
5 minutes into the 5 minutes into the second half. And every minute now, every tick of the clock as Iowa Central tries to hold on to this, at this point, 40-point lead, and finish this game like they started it. Bring Iowa Central closer to a guaranteed national Final Four.
Yep, and they've been playing so far so good. So if they can keep this up in the last half hour of this contest, they'll be moving on to that Final Four.
And you know, in a game that might not bring out these emotions otherwise, the situation definitely will make them, even if the lead remains this big, still 35 anxious minutes.
Of course.
Waiting for it to wind down.
Of course.
Iowa Central dives on it, but you get the feeling that they're just going to continue to expand on it if they can. And here's busting through, but he loses the ball, and now the ball booted back out. I believe out of touch, yes. So when they get this back in Iowa Central, like we mentioned before, about 34 minutes left in this, about a 40-point lead. I think Sharon pretty much, they just have to make sure that they continue playing physical,
Yeah.
that they don't pack this thing in early, because
Yeah.
there's absolutely no room to do that in this kind of a situation.
Yeah, they definitely have to go ahead and finish their job. They've been playing really, really well so far. They've been playing really, really well so far. So if they could just keep doing what they're doing, I think they'll have a successful game.
And it's a successful game that they've started. Now it's just one that they have to finish.
And I definitely think they plan on finishing because they really haven't let up since the second half started. Obviously, Matt starting off with that score in the second half. So if they could just keep doing more of that, they don't have to necessarily push the envelope too much, but they could just keep doing what they're doing. They'll be just fine.
And like we mentioned before, if they continue to play their style of rugby, they will continue to score.
Yeah.
And as that lead gets bigger, they just have to be careful not to allow momentum to shift, because momentum is worth more points than just making a couple mental mistakes. Even though at this point you're just trying to limit your mental mistakes, and more importantly, continue keeping possession to limit opponent opportunity.
Yeah. You want to continue to execute the game plan. You want to continue to do what you know you're supposed to.
So Iowa Central up 40-0. Really now just trying to close out what would be so far, and it's weird to use these cliches because from now on this will be true about every win that they manage to get from now between the end of the season, the biggest win of their season.
Yeah. And going on to the Final Four, you know that their minds aren't even on that yet. They want to finish this off. They want to make sure that they knock this game out, and then that's the next step. The Final Four is the next step.
Now, still being played as a physical game there, hard hit. And Tarleton still
out here at the beautiful Dallas University here in Texas. Getting a nice little breeze coming in from behind us.
The weather's been friendly to us since I'd say about 1 when the wind really stopped.
Yeah. Hasn't been too friendly to your skin, Tyson.
No.
God, I hate those UV rays, man.
Man, you're from Louisiana. You don't even you don't understand aversion to heat.
I don't know what UV rays are. I don't think.
It's big talk from a man that it hits 60 and he's in a leather jacket.
Okay. You need to calm down. I might wear a polo if it's 60. Maybe a light sweater.
As this separates. Free kick just to gain a little bit. Now scrambling. Barker's fresh off of a great move. This time he'll give it instead of keeping it.
Yeah.
You have to do that every now and again or the fake won't work.
Yeah. That's very true. It's good to see Iowa Central still playing well. They really aren't. They aren't packing it in. They aren't settling. I mean, keep playing this game out.
Well, when you're 30 minutes away from the job being done, you just have to keep focus.
Yeah.
One thing at a time.
Got to stay the course on this one, and that's exactly what they are doing. Still playing very well.
And really, no time to really let up. Considering the circumstances, considering how important the game is, I wouldn't expect to see 1 second where they're not giving 100%.
Yeah.
Ten minutes of this first half already gone. Iowa Central a half hour away. So now as the scrum locks up after the knock on. One thing Iowa Central is doing better, and I have to adore it, is did you notice that? Did you notice that they went into halftime? Right, they
Yeah.
went into halftime 33 up,
Hmm.
and Coach Nelson had more complaints than nice things to say.
He did. He did. He did enjoy the selfishness though.
Yeah.
He applauded his guys for how well they played in the first half.
I still just love the mentality.
Of
I
course.
adore it.
Of course, there's always something that you can improve on. You could be up 100-0, and there's something you can do better. And I like Coach Nelson's approach to the game that way. There's always something to get better at. Maybe you didn't tie your shoes the right way. You can improve. You can get better. That's just a small analogy. Obviously, I feel like these guys tie their shoes just fine, but that's just something I felt like I'd use.
I haven't given it enough analysis to like sit here and.
I'm just saying, they got to tie them. Here we go. Tarleton looking to make something happen here.
And now pushing. And trying to get it loose and get a little bit of room. And now a little bit of a breakthrough.
Yeah. Trying to make a push here.
And you see, that is one thing. That's the first time today that Iowa Central has just looked sloppy.
It's gone, and it goes over to Iowa Central.
And they immediately make it through, but now possession changing back.
Oh yeah! Don't push him! Hey, watch out, buddy, watch out.
Great composure right there by the Tritons.
And now an awful
Simply
lot of extra
walking
going
away.
on.
Great composure right there, just walking away. Didn't say a word to him.
Now there is a time, and you do have to wonder, at what point does it bubble over, and at which point is it gonna?
We need a stop!
Let's see what takes place here.
Well, a lot of conversation. This is just the official trying to keep himself in control of this match, which is what you have to do after an incident like that.
Mhm.
I mean, believe me, you see several matches where emotions start to get heated, and of course, one of these two teams, no matter what happens, whether this trend holds or there is a miraculous comeback, is heading to a massive disappointment out of what comes out of today. So like, emotions are going to run hot.
Yes,
And
of course.
if you aren't careful as an official, you can lose control of that real quick.
And you know that's how it works with many competitions. If tempers flare, things can't get obviously out of hand. But
So, yeah, I think decent enough job by the official does exactly what common sense in the book would tell you. Now the foul, they take the free kick quickly. Getting in there looking for the try. Trying to break the shutout.
they're looking for their first points here.
Can't bust through. Still hasn't pressed the ball to the ground. Did he lose the ball on the way down? I think they prevented it. I think the ball came loose.
Iowa Central still playing defense.
So so inches away.
Literally inches, man.
And not even inches away from getting into the try zone, inches away from the ball touching the ground.
Yeah. Very close.
But now they're going to be asked to stand tall again.
So let's see how this is going to pan out for Tarleton. This is their first real opportunity that they've had at some putting some points on the board.
And there you go,
He's going to get in, and that's going to be Tarleton's first score.
So now 40-5, and that was just too good of an opportunity to keep turning away.
Yeah. You could not score on that opportunity. So Tarleton knocks on the door, and they find an answer and put some points up.
42-5.
here we go. It's going to be another tough try from a rough angle.
Creeping up on the halfway point here this second half.
See if he convert here.
This one is a tough angle.
Yeah. Gonna need some air. Luckily, the wind has died just about completely.
Comes through and it was a high difficulty chance and
Yeah.
it goes a long way wide, which, as we pretty much mention every time, it's usually you don't miss small.
Yeah.
You can whiff usually it's either smoked right through where you want it on those, at least in my from my observation on the tough angle ones. Obviously on one right down the middle, you can miss small.
Yeah.
But usually on those small angle ones, it's either just sweet and right where you want it, or
Or
you try to get a little bit too picky with the angle. You almost try to guide it just a bit too much, and you end up
It's ways away.
rolling it off the side of your foot. 40-5.
Here we go again. Tarleton with another possession.
Now trying to get a little bit of space going forward. Good push here by Tarleton.
Wow, still working, churning those feet.
And you do have to appreciate the chase despite the score.
Yes.
This isn't a team that's laying down.
Everyone is still working extremely hard. Still scrapping it out to the very end, even though the score isn't necessarily in their favor.
And it's hard really not to have respect for that.
Yeah. As long as it stays clean, then it's all fun.
This one back. Fielded on a hop. Shakes off one, sidesteps another. He'll get chased down from behind, though. Oh, and now flip back. And how well timed was that? Not usually someone that you expect to be coming up from it. They snuck him up.
Yeah.
Got about 10 extra meters from it.
Sometimes it's the unsung
Oh, and now a
heroes.
man you do not want to have any forward momentum.
No. You got to bring him down quickly.
Rolling forward, Nathan Heath.
Quite honestly, you don't want very many of these guys getting any type of forward momentum if you have to stop them.
Nathan Heath is one of those, it's a rare instance where every now and again you see someone play, or you just see an athlete, and you go, that a man that size should not have that footwork.
Yeah.
Um,
It's crazy. Still working hard here.
But I'll tell you, one thing though is we have a big contact now. It's played forward. Oh, clever bit of footwork. It almost works.
Great hustle right there. Down the side of the touchline.
And I'll tell you though, there is something to be said for a little bit of creativity in that play.
Mm-hmm.
Playing it to himself, using the width of the pitch and how he's allowed
Extremely
to play
smart.
himself out of bounds. Beautiful.
He showed his speed right there. Bursting around.
And the throw in, it's going to be a 50-50 ball picked up by Tarleton. Now driving forward. But stuck at the touchline.
Yeah. Right there on the button.
Again, though, you can see the physical strength.
Yeah. By both of these teams.
Now Iowa Central slowly slowly earning itself just a little bit more breathing room. Now trying to earn itself a turnover. They're almost earning themselves a clearance just by being able to keep their line strong.
They really are. There's
Oh, and
one
EA
slip up.
off of the turnover, and this is trouble.
There's one slip up. Could just about do it.
It can't be a miracle run every time. That time he gets about 20.
Not every time. Believe it or not every time. It's not number 4 today.
Now they're running start into a pile. Can't quite get it to budge, though.
Yeah. So it's normally pretty tough when there's about 9 guys right there.
Well, unless you're about 6'5", about 260, and your name is Nathan Heath, and you just bowl into it like that.
Yeah, it's a little bit easier then, I suppose. I don't know about the Nathan part, but those other attributes that you mentioned makes it a little bit easier.
You know, it's one of the nice little assets about it, because it speaks to the balance of this team, because obviously EA is an all-around. He's the type of athlete that you'd love to build a team around. But as far as like role players, you have a guy like Richard Horton, who is just devastatingly quick, and then you have a guy like Nathan Heath, who has this combination of skills that sometimes make you change your mind about playing defense on that particular evening.
And then you just question your whole existence at that very moment. Kind of self-reflect.
Everyone wants to be a forward when a guy like Heath is on the field.
Yeah. Gonna get a whistle there.
And again, the official I would say it spiraled. It started feeling like it was spiraling for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Of a little bit of an escalation. I feel like the official has, at least for the moments being, gotten a pretty good grip on this game.
I can agree with that, Tyson.
So as we get ready for this little continuation in play, well, first of all, we have to thank the organization that put this whole entire thing on.
Yes.
Because honestly, it's been a blast. They were more than I can say, like, as broadcasters, you don't always know if you're going to get this, more than open to anything we would have needed. And now, this one up and through. Looks like it's good off the free kick. That'll add 3.
Yep. So that's another 3 for the Tritons.
Yep, absolutely. Also, we have the sponsor that allowed them to do the entire thing, and I know you love reading.
Yeah, one of my favorite sponsors.
And it's a great product to be
without a doubt.
Real.
It keeps you away from cramps. Pickle juice is a 100% natural sports drink that contains 10 times electrolytes of typical sports drinks without any of the sugar or artificial ingredients. Pickle juice is the only product on the market scientifically proven to stop and prevent muscle cramps and is a proud sponsor of the Cowboy Cup and Professional Premiership Rugby. Look for it at your local retail store or at picklepower.com. You can see it. You can see it on the bands around the pitch here. Picklepower.com. Give them a look.
And honestly, you mentioned the cramp thing. It's also just refreshing on a hot day.
You can't go wrong with some pickle juice. I'm telling you.
And the National College Rugby Organization, National Small College Rugby Organization, as we mentioned, and Pickle Juice. It's just the two entities that allowed this entire broadcast of today to happen, and so anyone owes them a thanks. And Pickle Juice, a fantastic product. Owe them a Google search or 2.
Yes, sir. I will be Googling that later today.
So as this comes in, EA trying to get a little bit of room.
Picklepower.com. Give it a look. prevents cramps. Refreshing.
14 minutes left to play here.
Also, Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company is proud to be the top sponsor of the the top sponsor of Inscro. Enhance the small college rugby experience. Penn Mutual understands that rugby is life. Learn how at pennmutual.com/rugby. Thank you, Penn Mutual.
And one of the things, because like I don't think we have to front because we have a decent knowledge of the sport now, but I don't think either of us have to pretend that rugby is something that we grew up with or that's something that we were born into. But one thing that strikes me is things like this. I mean, look at this organization and these sponsors that have just come together to make make sure that there's a place for people to play the sport that they have a passion for. I've been absolutely ever since we started following rugby. One of the things that really always strikes me is how much of a family feel everyone in rugby has, because it's such a small, tight-knit community, and thank goodness it's getting bigger because I think it's a game that deserves to be played by more people.
Yeah. The National Small College Rugby Association, also known as NSCRO, provides services for nearly 400 men's and women's small colleges for their growth and development. To learn more, visit us at nscro.org and like us at facebook.com/nscro-rugby.
Now we're getting Now we're getting deep into this game. About 12 minutes left. We're in the 28th minute. Now this game has slowed down in pace, but now very quick man picking up the ball.
Yeah. Well, shaking off a few guys, handing it off to a teammate.
A little bit of a loss of possession there. But this game has changed in pace over the last 10 minutes, and you firmly believe, you get the feeling that it's Iowa Central settling in to its end of game plan, which is not necessarily to ride this ball out, but to control the ball.
Yeah, which they have been.
Not really taking as many risks as they did at the beginning of the day. Just no real reason, no real necessity to start taking chances on offense.
Yes, sir.
This is going to be a scrum, and I believe the throw-in is going to be controlled by Iowa Central. Yep, the scrum won by Iowa Central, but something wrong with the throw-in, which from this angle for us, borderline impossible to tell which way it went.
Yeah.
So as this gets closer and closer to an Iowa Central win, we're in the 39th minute now. 29th minute. Just what it means and how impressive it is that a college that founded a club team a year and a half ago or 2 years ago is about to take the step it looks like Iowa Central is about to take. It's impressive. It shows the dedication of pretty much, I mean, these three coaches started as volunteers.
Yes, they did.
All of them. And there's another try.
Yep.
The sweet day just keeps getting sweeter and sweeter.
It does. It really does. They continue to prove why they're one of the best teams in the entire nation.
48-5 right now.
Yeah.
As this lead stretches. So it looks like Iowa Central is going to ride this one out, and
they're going to continue their hot streak they've been on.
Just a complete, total team effort. The situational awareness has been phenomenal. The physicality, which Coach Nelson said was lacking in the first, has come a little bit more full circle in the second. I'm sure he's not going to enjoy the one brilliant run down by the try line, but other than that, I think the tackling has been good. I think the physicality has been fine. Like I mentioned before, situation awareness, knowing what to go with the ball.
That one's just short on the try there.
so unable to bring it through. But still 48-5. So 9 minutes away, and at this point, everyone pretty much just holding their breath, waiting, because it's a weird moment in a game like this, where it's hard not to be thinking about where we're gonna be in 9 minutes, which is, I'm sure, a massive celebration on the field that they've well earned.
Of course. The Tritons have truly showed their true colors this afternoon, playing a complete game and still doing even more of it, still playing extremely hard, not giving up until the very last whistle.
And now finally, after a long run, Goddard finally being selfless, as was said before, and taking the seat to protect the ball and give it out to the back person.
Truly has been one of those games you just enjoy to watch.
Yeah, you couldn't have drawn a better script.
Especially for a team to head into the national Final Four. A team like this can go the distance. They do have what it takes.
And I think there hasn't been much of a doubt that Iowa Central had the potential to put on this kind of showing on a big stage.
Mm-hmm.
But it's never 100% guaranteed that you're actually going to show up and show your full potential. And I think Iowa Central has represented itself very well and to its maximum quality.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, isn't always something that happens. Sometimes great teams do get disappointed from one bad day. But it's not going to be this day.
Nope.
It doesn't look like for Iowa Central they continue being the team that they're supposed to be. Now picking up one step in a straight line burst of speed down the sideline. Then one pass, but it's dropped after a couple, and it'll be a turnover in possession. 7 minutes now. We're in the 33rd minute, and I would expect it to end about on the dot. Like we said, usually the bigger the lead, the less necessity the official sees to let them play it out.
Very true.
So
this one slowly but surely winding down. We've been out here with the Inscro all day long. 3 fantastic games we've been a part of.
heck of an event.
Yes,
and
amazing event.
And a completely different group of people in the crowd each time. And they've each been, in their own right, great crowds, great people to meet and interact with and just be around while this is happening. Just overall a good atmosphere for rugby. Now in the 34th minute. Waiting here on the scrum.
Start wrapping up. See what you can wrap up.
Scrum again. The official, even though the game is in its dying embers, still not gonna allow any nonsense on the throw into the scrum, which is more than fair.
Which is completely fair. I would expect nothing less because that's the same way they've called the game the entire night, entire evening. So why would we expect anything less now?
And 3 solid officiating jobs from 3 solid officiating crews today.
Absolutely.
Really, I can't even think of one glaring miss that really stands out.
Nope.
Everything tape to tape.
Not in my book. Looked pretty even to me all night long. It's been an amazing event.
So now maybe a little bit of time wasting going on in the scrum because it can be a packet. So as this one goes down and flip back.
Still a pretty warm day. And if you ever need some refreshment, pickle juice. They have a van located right over there to my left. The pickle juice van. I'm sure they're offering several pickle juice variety drinks. If you got a cramp, you need some pickle juice. There you go. Right there. That's pickle juice. Picklepower.com.
I mean, even if you haven't got a cramp, it's a hot day. We're poking up here in the 85, 90 degree range. You just want something ice cold that tastes good?
Picklepower.com.
Picklepower.com.
Yep. I'll tell you, Pickle Power, that's something.
3 minutes left here. 3 minutes separating Iowa Central from what looks to now be an almost certain Final Four national. I can't think of one thing that makes these guys not as deserving as anybody for this or more, and now this is lightning down the left wing.
Yep. You know how some places offer champagne or something along those lines for a big win or something
I
along
know
those
where
lines?
you're going with this.
Why not pickle juice?
Why not pickle juice?
Why not pickle juice? Picklepower.com. I'd be interested. I really would. Picklepower.com. Wow.
Now the 38th minute.
So I'm not too familiar with picklepower.com, but do they sell like the whole pickle, or is it just the juice?
I think it's pickle related products, like as a general thing.
So that's interesting. A cucumber is kind of like a pickle.
There's the whistle.
A pickle is basically a cucumber.
So as they separate out, and you separate the difference in a pickle and a cucumber.
See, because I just want everybody at home to know it's basically the same thing, just a little bit different.
53-5 for anyone still not following Sharon's train of thought.
I'm sure a lot of people are with me on this one. Pickle, cucumber, basically the same thing. Just a tad bit different.
I think you'd be surprised how many people are with you on that.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense. It makes sense. So in case anyone was wondering, picklepower.com. Give it a click. Visit the webpage. Visit the truck.
Now Iowa Central 53-5 up in the dying lights of this game. 30 seconds left. So really, you would expect this one little drop kick, a couple flurries, see what they can get going, and then as soon as this thing rolls out of bounds or gets brought to a dead stop, Iowa Central should be celebrating a massive win.
Yep. They really have earned it. They've played incredibly well this entire game. They really showed their dominance throughout the course of this entire match.
I mean, and it's the accumulation of 2 years of work, so.
Yes, it is.
Would expect nothing but pure joy in about 30 seconds.
Of course. Excitement, joy, bliss, happiness, all of those synonyms. It's going to be great out there.
This one come out.
Great grab.
And Iowa Central.
Looks like it's about time.
Waiting for the whistle, waiting for the coronation.
Wind this thing up.
Not going to come quite yet. Still, everyone in the crowd pretty much nervously just looking to the official, waiting for permission to burst out and call it.
Yep. It's very close here in the winding seconds.
And we're waiting for the permission to celebrate. We're going to get a foul here. And there's the final.
And there it is.
And there's the final.
And that's it, folks.
And what a moment.
What a win for the Iowa Central Tritons. They are moving on to the Final Four, folks. Wow. Congratulations, Iowa Central.
There's the whistle. There's the final. And Iowa Central is going to roll in It's going to be 53-5 the final, but it could have been 1-0.
Yeah.
And they'd be celebrating just as fine.
Yes, they would.
A win is a win here, and Iowa Central is now 2 away from the ultimate goal.
And quick shout out to the fine folks that made the trip all the way down here from Iowa to support their hometown Iowa Central Tritons. Huge support, huge following everywhere they go.
And honestly, it's going to sound weird for us to give them a shout out in the game that we're covering them on, but a shout out to the rugby team because they've been nothing but absolutely the most compliant team on campus that they could possibly be for open access to the media, making sure that we had everything that we needed to come cover them. So really, there isn't a group of guys that deserve it more, and knowing most of them personally makes it just a little bit more sweet. But I can honestly say that you're looking at a team, and I could have said this 6 months ago, and it still would have been a dumb moment, but it bears repeating. You're looking at a team that there's no reason shouldn't be your national champions in 3 months.
Also, one more shout out. Shout out to all of our fantastic camera operators who've also been out here with us through 3 grueling matches in the heat, in the sun. So thank you very much to our fantastic camera operators, Devin, Wyatt, Michelle, Takia in the truck, also Alan McNeil in the truck. Thank you guys. Tyson and I just reaped the benefits of being able to sit down on these fantastic metal stools.
Oh, absolutely. Do you have any idea how bad we'd look without editing?
Yes, if it wasn't for these guys, we probably wouldn't even have these headsets on. So thank you guys very, very much. You guys did a fantastic job today.
Absolutely beautiful, guys.
So proud.
And as we roll this up, congratulations personally and from the program to the Iowa Central rugby team. It's just, I know they're not looking at it as a final step, but it is a big achievement. And while it's not okay for them to rest, it is okay for us to smile about it.
Yes, of course, of course. And you know what?
So as we get set up, we will have a post interview. But until then, Sharon, honestly, probably one of the more fun days we've had this year broadcasting. Great environment, a venue that pretty much did nothing but give us an open reign of the place. Cannot thank,
of course,
any of these people enough. And
also,
of course, that's what it's all about right there.
Of course, we cannot forget the University of Dallas for hosting this fantastic event. Thank you very much to the University of Dallas for giving us this fine pitch to play on today.
So for us, that's really the final image that you should see at the end of this broadcast. Iowa Central walking off victorious.
And look at that fine thing of pickle juice right there. I think every one of these guys deserves some pickle juice.
Hey, does he want to do a word first?
No, let's do this first. Okay, right now. Okay.
And now, with Coach and a couple key players from Iowa Central, we got Zarin with a post-game interview.
Down here on the field here with Coach Nelson. Coach, recap the game for me. Tell me what you liked and how happy are you right now?
It's hard to explain how happy I am. It's a long trip for us, and I'm just tickled to death that we have so many fans here that came all this way from Iowa. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate that. We played good in the first half. We kind of got a little loose in the start of the second half, let up a little bit. But I'm proud of these guys. They all played. They played really hard today, and we're kind of the Walking Dead, but we got a few weeks before we go to Pittsburgh. So that was what it was about, and we got that done today.
Awesome. Let's talk to these fine players you got over here. Talking with Manny Murillo, and Manny, tell me how it was out there from your perspective, from the player's perspective. Give me your thoughts on the game.
Right off the bat, we came, hit hard. We already had mindset, what we were going to do. We came and we accomplished it.
Absolutely. You heard Coach's thoughts on the crowd, but all these fans traveled all the way from Iowa to watch you guys. How does that mean? What does that mean to you?
It means everything for us. I mean, we did it for the fans. We did it for us. We did it for Iowa.
Absolutely. And we're going to talk with Evan.
And we did it for culture out there, man. I know you're watching.
bringing in Evian Akers now, and whew, you are fast, man.
Something like that.
A couple of those times you were running down the field, I don't know if anybody would have caught you. Tell me about your game a little bit.
Pretty much, give me the ball. No, but to be honest, we came out today, and we already knew what we was going to do. Throughout the game, I was saying one job because we're on the field for one job, and this time it was for Coulter. He's one of our teammates, and he kind of broke his foot, so we kind of represented this game for him today because I know he wanted to be out here. But, yeah.
That's awesome, and you guys aren't done here. Explain what you guys are going to do next.
Now we're going to Pittsburgh to be in the Final Four.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. I know everybody's excited for that, excited for the Final Four in Pittsburgh, and we want to congratulate you guys one more time, and good luck in Pittsburgh.
Thank you.
That's the Iowa Central team as they won the Elite Eight match. They're going to move on, as we mentioned, to Pittsburgh. We're going to throw it over for the award ceremony now.
Hey, boys. We got a lot of fans in the stands. Iowa ain't nowhere near here, all right? Let's get 3 cheers for the fans. Hip, hip! Hip, hip! Hip, hip! Hip, hip! Thank you, guys. We appreciate your support.
Yeah, that's how you got it.
You want to unhook it?
All right, real quick, on behalf of INSCRO and the Lone Star Conference, we'd like to welcome both of these teams, Tarleton State and Iowa Central Community College, for coming all the way down. So this year's second place Challenge Cup winner, Tarleton State, if y'all can come forward. This is you're gonna award this to your most valuable player. It's called the Heart and Soul Award. Yes. All right, and this year's 2017 West
more juice. Pickle juice, man. Can I give a... I really want to, but I'm not. Can I give one more quick shout out to Pickle Juice?
No, you can't get on the mic. Just give one more shout out.
Look, in case anybody's still listening, just one more quick shout out to Pickle Juice. You guys are great. Are your shirts made out of pickle too? Love you, Pickle Juice. Everybody go home. You gonna close it?